YouTube. Logos Americana here. Trucker extraordinaire. It is April 23rd. Start date 2019. I'm on my way to Silver Spring, Maryland this morning. Got up kind of early. Been driving for the last 3 hours. I just stopped in fuel. I'm actually in North Carolina right now. I like driving in the morning. There's no traffic. I would rather get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive than drive late and sleep in, because if you sleep in, you're going to have traffic. And you just don't want to deal with traffic. Traffic has gotten to be an enormous problem in this country. You know, if I went into Toyota or some big manufacturer that had an assembly line and arbitrarily shut down their assembly line for 2 or 3 hours, it would be a national news story. But you can shut down an interstate highway and back traffic up for 14 miles and nobody even pays attention. I mean, and you think about the lost productivity, something like that happens. And very often it's just stupidity. Very often it's road crews that are put to work during the day when there's traffic instead of at night when there's less traffic, or they'll shut down a lane unnecessarily. I've seen it. I've seen middle of the day busy work back traffic up 10 miles. I've seen it with my own eyes. And if you did that to Toyota or General Motors and you backed up one of their assembly lines, I don't know if people realize this, but a lot of these assembly lines, these car manufacturers, they will actually pump out a car every minute. One a minute. A new car comes off the assembly line. You think about shutting that line down for 2 hours? It would be a national news story. But that's not what I want to talk about today. It's been on my mind since Notre Dame caught fire. The malfeasance of Notre Dame is what always strikes me. It's just unfathomable that there wasn't some kind of sprinkler system or some kind of system that had water at the ready, you know, like a piping system where, you know, like in skyscrapers, for instance, they don't run the hose from the street, from the fire hydrant up the elevator. There's access to water throughout the skyscraper. Why wouldn't they have installed a system in Notre Dame that allowed for access to water in the roof system or in some of the more inaccessible areas? It's just unfathomable to me that there wasn't fire retardant sprayed on some of these ancient oak beams that were obviously potentially a fire hazard. Some kind of prophylactic effort. It's just, I think about when this building was started, you know, Notre Dame Cathedral, over 800 years ago, and it took 200 years to finish. By the time they were finished, they were probably refurbishing some aspects of the cathedral already. It was 200 years old when they finished it. And you think about the thousands and thousands of man hours of hauling heavy block up into the air and chiseling statues and hewing all of the wood from the forest and dragging it in and setting it in place, and all of the work that went into the engineering, you know, just the sheer scope of the process. And you think about what those people would be thinking today after doing all that work and watching the French people I'll say the French people, because if the people had cared enough, they would have forced the government to do something. Listen, it's obviously a church building, but it is an iconic building of France. You think about how much they're going to lose in tourism in the next, they say they're going to rebuild it in 5 years. That's a joke. It's going to take, if they marshal a national effort, it would take 15 or 20 years to finish this project. You can't just find people who do this type of work like in the Yellow Pages. I mean, the people who work on these cathedrals, it's obviously a dying breed. I mean, you can't spin up a crew to rebuild the Notre Dame Cathedral just by making a few phone calls and getting Bechtel or Halliburton or somebody in there to do it. So it'll be 20 years, and you think about all the people who maybe would have flown to France, and then they think, but Notre Dame is under construction, and so I'll cross that off my list. I'll just go to Rome or London, and I'll skip Paris. It's got to be millions and millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, of lost tourist income, and a loss to the national prestige of France, which affects a country. And I always, when I'm thinking about this, I hearken back to all of these guys who spent years of their life working on the stained glass windows, the gargoyles, the people who died, no doubt, building this tremendous architectural wonder. And I think, what must they be thinking if they have any ability to see what's going on? Assume they're in heaven, and they just are incredulous that there wasn't some effort, just a little bit of an effort to preserve this, wonder of the world, this icon of Western civilization. I mean, they're spinning in their grave, they are. I would be, if I spent my entire life chiseling stone for Notre Dame Cathedral, and then I find out that the French people in 2019 wouldn't even take the time to put in a sprinkler system, or it just boggles the mind. I'm going to end this little video here. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.